Hey, what's up, everybody? So today in this video, I'm going to talk about how to create ads that are actually going to attract perfect clients that are ready to buy, right? Some people might need some more nurturing, but ultimately you want ads that are going to attract your ideal avatar that after they get nurtured from your content, they're going to be interested in working with you. So let's get straight into it. And I'm going to share my screen here because the first thing you want to be doing with your avatar is with your ads is to attract people based on how they're feeling, right? Like it's common to think that you might want to attract based on like benefits or features. Like there's different ways of doing ads, but ultimately the people that are going to resonate with your ad and join your audience because of it, or DM you, of course, are people that are going to actually, see themselves in the copy of your ad, right? So let me get into this specifically. And the reason why I can speak on this is because, well, I've helped a few of my clients to actually create ads that were able to bring in around 40K per month, 50K per month from being able to earn about 8K per month. Um, and so, I have some knowledge on this that I'm happy to share with you. Ultimately, I'm also launching ads now that are able to kind of have those types of lead generations and attracting some pretty good ads. So hopefully this is helpful to any coaches out there that are looking to work on ads. So the first thing you want to do is write out the top pains and desires of your ideal client, right? So I'm going to use my example because why not? It might be helpful. So let's start with pains, right? So my ideal client is somebody who's making like 7 to 20K per month. They're making good money, but working themselves to death 12 hours a day, right? The money is good, but it's not really like super life changing or retire early kind of money, right? Like 10K per month is great, but after taxes and expenses and all that, it's not like completely life changing. So that's the situation. They don't feel confident to charge what they're truly worth still, right? Maybe they're still charging like 5K, 4K, 3K instead of charging 6, 7, 8, right? They're afraid to spend on ads because they might not work, right? They have this limiting belief that, which might even be real, right? Since their sales process is not fully optimized, or they don't have the time to handle more leads after spending more on ads, then they're afraid on spending and then just wasting their money. They're also resistant to hopping on sales calls because people either don't show up right enough, or they're cold and broke, right? Like they're not really qualified or pre-warmed up before the hopping on the call. Um, and they're also overwhelmed when thinking about getting 20 new clients per month because their delivery is not organized at all. Even if it's group coaching, they have no idea what they have to do, and they're running around chasing after clients to pay installments to get results and stuff like that. So it's not structured. Um, and which ties into the next one, which is they're annoyed that clients don't pay installments on time, or they're ghosting them, right? And also they're grateful for accomplishments, but they're unsure how to break through, right? So it's the stage where they can get kind of settled, but at the same time, it's not really where they want to stay. So that's the pains, and then desires are kind of like the opposites of that, and the ultimate outcomes, which are make great money while working max like 4 hours a day, right? So make great money instead of good is 10K is good, great is like 50 to 100K per month, right? But working a lot less, right, without having to sacrifice their whole life. Um, they're able to consider retiring early, right? If they want to, they could sell their business because of the structure, or whatever kind of makes sense for them, like outsourcing everything. They're charging more than they ever dreamed of. Maybe they thought, oh, I have health coaching, so there's no way I could charge like 8K or something like that. But that's definitely possible as long as you structure things properly. Um, so they're confident in spending as much as needed with ads because there was no, it will get a return, right? And they can handle the traffic. They're confident about hopping on sales calls because people are warm and have money, and also they're confident about bringing on a closer, right? So that they can work less because they know they have the traffic to support the closer's calendar. They're no longer annoyed by installments problems or dealing with clients, right? Because they have a structured delivery, and so they can also bring on 20 clients a month uh, without any issues, right? So they're excited about that, and they're not overwhelmed, and they're grateful for the new accomplishments and ability to finally realize their initial vision, right? Because a lot of people, they start out, they think a 10K is going to 10 20K is going to be like the life-changing money, and it is great, but then they're probably stuck like working a long time, and that's not really the time freedom, at least that probably a lot of people have dreamed of. And so 50 to 100K with a structured team is actually ultimately closer to that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You want to do this the same for yourself, right? Top pains and then top desires for your ideal client. And this is also going to be a really good exercise so you understand like who are you helping, right? More specifically. And um this is going to help a lot with messaging, right? Because if you're targeting somebody that doesn't even care about like, oh yeah, I can bring on as many clients as possible, it doesn't matter to talk about like how many clients they can bring on, because that's not an issue, right? Whereas if they're struggling to even get calls booked on the calendar, right, like that's what should be talking about in the ads themselves, especially in the hook, right? Because the hook is what's going to get their attention. So that's pretty much it, right? So now you might be wondering, okay, I have the pains and desires, right? But how do I structure an ad? Well, it all depends on the ad you're going for. But honestly, regardless of that, like we're talking about Instagram here, you're either going to go for follower ads or you're going to go for ads that help you with getting DMs. And so regardless, the only thing that changes is the CTA, really. Also, you might want to be a little bit more direct towards the offer if you're doing DM ads. But let's talk about follower ads. That's the one I recommend first. And this, by the way, this is my program specifically. And so this is the structure that I recommend for ads. Okay. So we're starting here. The scripting involves three main parts. You have the hook, the value, and the CTA. So the hook is when you call out the avatar, right? You're genuine. You speak to their vision, not their current state, right? Because this will attract higher level people that are not like so focused on where they're at, but instead people that are looking to get to the next level, which are people that can pay you more, right? So this is important to not always have calls with people that are broke. And so the structure you want to follow in the hook, it would be something like, are you ideal client, right? Are you somebody who's making 5K, struggling to get to 50K per month and get their time back, right? Are you somebody who doesn't have any time right now, but wants to, be financially free and have time freedom? Are you somebody dealing with knee pain who wants to get back to their sport, right? And be able to play basketball anytime, right? Things like that. So you want to call to their ultimate vision, somewhat mention their current state, but also ultimately mentioning more their ideal vision, right? Um, and you want to finish the hook with follow me below for more free content like this, right? Have like a small CTA because some people don't watch the whole ad, right? So you want to have a CTA like already right away. Next thing is you want to provide value, right? So the value part is you want to give tons of value for free. And what happens is that since a lot of people are running ads now, especially in more competitive niches, you need to find a way to be more unique, right? And one of the ways to be unique is to just provide as much value as possible in your ad itself so that they can't not follow you, right? Because they know how much value you just provided in one ad. So they need to follow you to check out more, right? And so the more value you can provide here, the better. Sell the information, right? Just actually just give out the information, and then the implementation is what they'll pay you for, right? Because people that are more aware or more sophisticated, they're actually going to want to work with you for the implementation more than necessarily the information, because they can get that anywhere, right? They're going to understand that value. So the easiest way to do that is just like separate it in terms of three steps. Like here are three steps to ideal outcome, right? And then you just break it down 3, 5 steps, whatever makes sense for you, right? Um, and then you have the CTA, which is follow me and watch the content, right? Should me follow here on Instagram and go through my past content. That's pretty much it. Like if you want to get to, and then same thing again, ideal outcome. Shoot me a follow here, blah, 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 blah. And you just finish this. CTA honestly doesn't matter much. What matters most is the hook, then the value, and then the CTA, right? So I would keep the CTA constant. And so, okay, let's get to the next part, which is how do you test ads, right? And know when something is working? Well, for ads, follower ads, you want to get at the most a $10 per follower cost, but ideally actually $2 to $5, depending on your niche. If it's very competitive, then up to $10. If it's not very competitive, then I would say $2 to $5 in the English market, of course. So that's the KPI you want to look for. Also, you want to have a cost per click of ideally less than a dollar. That's best, at least $1.50. So that can keep you kind of in the right place. And well, you have the metrics, broken down in terms of setting and closing, but that's not as important, right? You want to get the KPIs on the ads working first. So until you have that, I wouldn't stop testing it. Actually, I will always keep testing ads just to, have as many ads as possible that are working. But to find that first winning ad, I would not stop. I wouldn't stop testing until you find that at least. So once you have that is good. But now, how do you get to that point? So what I would recommend is create 3 different ads with the same CTAs, but different hooks and different values in each. Okay. You run 3 at the same time, $10 a day each for 5 to 6 days. And then from there, the one that is a winner, you want to double down on that, turn off the other 2, and use that one. Now, use that as the base. And then from that one, you want to create 2 more with different hooks. Everything else is the same. Value piece and CTA are the same, but different hooks to test the hooks. Then from those 3, see which one performs best, and then turn off the other 2 and test 2 more after that, right? With the same hook, but different value, right? So you change the value this time. And then once you find a winner from those, usually that's pretty good already, but you can also test different targeting after that. A lot of people recommend to test different targeting. I personally think that targeting is important, but it's not the most important thing, because ultimately the AI on Facebook is intelligent enough to get to the right people. And once it's optimized, right? Or if you have lookalike audience as well, right? It's going to target the right people right away. So it's more important to nail down the messaging and the copy than necessarily the targeting as much, in my opinion. So yeah, this is pretty much it. And then you should get to a place where you're getting enough leads. And the most important thing at that point is making sure you squeeze as much as possible from that, so you can get at least 3x ROAS. And that's going to be more of a sales process thing, right? And so that's where you get to solving constraints, right? Which is making sure the numbers look good in all aspects, all the way up to client results, which is, a delivery problem. So if the leads, we already talked about this, if the bookings are less than 30 calls booked per week, right, from those ads, then, you want to figure out what's wrong with that. And here are the solutions. Let's actually go through that a little bit, right? So if you have less than 30 calls booked per week, you want to increase your touch points and pitch calls, improve your conversations quality, and hire setter or closer if you don't have the time. If you want more qualified bookings, like if you're canceling more than 80% of your calls or less than 20% of your calls, then that might be a sign that something is off, right? That you're not canceling enough, or you're canceling too much, so you're attracting a lot of leads that are not good. If your show rate is less than 60%, then you want to increase that by, improving your setting process, introducing like a thank you page and video, right, to get them excited to hop on the call and pre-warmed up, and add more reminders. Close rate, if it's less than 20%, then that could also be a sign of the leads, but it could be a cancellation problem as well. So you want to cancel more calls, improve the thank you page and video. You want to make more offers on calls, improve your closing skills and process, and then do more follow-ups after the call. If your price is below 6,200, right, you want to increase that, because this is where it comes in the price point, right? Because you might be doing everything correctly, but if you're only charging 3K, it's going to be really hard to get your time back, your money back on your ads, and also make it worth it for a closer or setter to come in. So you need to be charging at least 5K, ideally 6,250 is my favorite number. Why? Because 4 times 6,250 is 25K, times 4 is 100K, right? So if you close for a week, you're going to be able to hit 100K. ROAS, right? 3x, and then client results. So that's pretty much it. That's how you go about really understanding how to create ads that are going to perform, and then fixing everything else through the process to make sure that it's working properly. So hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. Reach out to me on Instagram. Happy to help review ads or anything that you might have. Yeah, check out my link below for the Instagram, and also for exactly like how I help coaches go from like 5K to 10K to all the way to 50K by building a sales team and working on ads and things like these. Have a great day, and talk soon.